welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. I'm Jamie and I'm going to be your host today as I take you through some really lovely dies. Not only do we have some beautiful dies for you this week, we've also got a really good offer too, where you're going to save over £35 if you can't choose and want to buy all of them that I'm going to show you. Of course you can buy them individually as well, so you don't have to buy the bundle if you don't want to. And we really have got some truly beautiful dies. I've actually had these on order for months waiting for them to come in, and I've been really excited to show these ones to you because I think you're going to really like them. So let's start off with the dies, then I'm going to show you our essentials pack, and then I promise you I'll show you 12 different projects I've made with these to give you a few ideas of how you can use them. So the first die we're looking at today, I'm going to give you your codes as always, so if you do wish to order them via Facebook, YouTube or text or over the phone, you have a code ready to do so. The code for this one is D133F and it's $14.99. Now this may not look as much in the packet as you're going to be amazed to when you get to use it. It just gives you so many options. What you can't really see in here is you've got 3 dies. So we have the outside die, which is actually your floral frame. That's the really delicate bit that's going to cut out for you. We then have an outside edge to go with it, which means that we can cut windows with this, we can cut backing plates for it. We really can do quite a bit just with those two alone. And on top of that, they also give you this oval lattice. Now this is really beautiful. Obviously you can use all 3 together if you wish to, which opens up a whole new dimension, or we can use them individually. And I'm going to show you that things like that as well. This one's really nice to use with some of the other dies in the collection. You don't have to use this just in the middle of your oval, obviously. There's a couple of backing plates that I'm going to show you as well, like creator card style dies, and these work really well with them too. So bear that in mind, lots we can do with this set. That one's $14.99 if you do wish to get that, which is good because it's only like £5 a die, considering you're getting 3 large dies in that for your money. Good set to get hold of. Moving on, showing you your first one of your creator card dies. Now this one is D139F and it's $15.99. They've been very clever with this set, I'll be honest, I really do quite love this. This is the actual die itself out of the packet to give you an idea. So we've got a really nice delicate cut side to it, which of course we can use on the side, on the top, we can use it for easel cards, so many options. This one's again $15.99, but don't forget we can introduce this lovely lattice and cut panels out of it, and you'll get to see that in some of my cards. So again, really one that can work well with each other. So that's your side creator card die, so that's D139F, $15.99. Now the next one we're going to look at, this one's a bit heavier. We've actually got the cutouts coming down both sides. Now you're going to get to see this when we look at actually how they cut. But a lot of these flowers, especially on this one, just cut little petal shapes into them. So we can actually 3D them and pop them out and give them a bit of dimension. So I think you're really going to appreciate that when you get to see it. This one's D140F, it's $15.99. And again, your lattice does fit quite nicely in the middle of that, and I will be showing you that cut as well. Moving on to your next creator card style die. Now this one's a really pretty frame. It cuts all these really nice dots around the edge and these really delicate sort of filigree bits into the actual corners of it. It sometimes looks nicer out of the packet because you can actually see a bit more of the dimensions and the way it's going to work. It'll also emboss this nice shape in the middle of it if you wish to. And I really like this to do inserts. So many times people say to me, oh, I really wish I could jazz up my inserts a little bit instead of just having the blank card on the inside. This is a really nice way, especially if you do get the other creator cards. Use them on the outside to give you some depth and some really nice interesting patterns. And then something like this on the inside to really match in and show that you've put the effort in and you care. Code for this one is D1380 and that one's $15.99. And of course, goes without saying, again, really good to work with your lattice die. A lot of places we can pop that in to give you a bit more dimension and a bit more interest in that frame if you wish to. Now, of course, with all these beautiful backgrounds and bits, we need something to jazz them up a bit more if we wish to. Add a bit more dimension. So we have some loose flowers, which are really good because we can add them on in different areas to the big backgrounds if we want to. So this is your first set of flowers. This is D134F and it's $6.99. Now, of course, you're getting 3 quite nice sizes with them, and they really do look lovely when built. So they are a nice one to get hold of if you are looking for some new flowers. Moving on, we have D135F, again $6.99, and again another lovely set of flowers. You can probably tell already that all of these little cuts here mean that we can push the actual petals out and give them a really 3D style effect. So I think you're going to really like them ones too. We then have a matching corner that goes in with a whole collection. Of course, it really ties in quite nicely. You'll notice, a bit like the Creator card dies, it's got both styles of flower on it as well. So again, we can dress it up quite a bit and match it in with them loose flowers if you wish to. This one is D136F and it's $8.99. One of the things to mention with this as well is the medium sized flower out of this fits perfectly over the top of that one. So if you do wish to give your corner a bit more dimension, that's a really good idea to buy the matching flowers so you can layer them on top. Our last die in this collection is our Creator card die. Sorry, I'm lying to you. Edgeable die is the words I'm looking for. This is the last one in the set, and an edgeable means that it doesn't have a blade across the side here. There's nothing here to cut off, so you can use it to attach onto the side of your card, and then you can cut this part, this side off as much or as little as you want to. So if you want it to appear at the top of a panel, for instance, or be used at the base of an easel card maybe, you can do. Or of course you can use it on the crease of a card so that bit pops up from behind your card if you wish. They're really lovely, loads we can do with them. If you don't want to leave them joined onto your card, then of course you can just cut it off and use it separately just as a border piece as well. So that's D137F, and that one on its own is $9.99. Now, of course, as I said earlier, you can buy all of those individually, or if you want to, you can save really big and buy our mega bundle. So your mega bundle consists of one of each of the dies I've just shown you. If you was to buy them all individually, it would cost you £95.92. But in our mega bundle, which is only valid for this week and this week only, so this offer will end at 5 PM on Saturday the 19th of May 2018, you can buy the whole lot for just £60. So you're saving over a third, actually saving £35.92, which is a massive, massive saving. And I often say this, especially if you look at other brands of Creator card dies, you can quite easily pay upwards of £20 a die for a style like this and size like this. So you really are getting an incredible value set here. Now, one of the good bits of our dies is they cut brilliantly. You really don't have to worry about how they're going to cut into your card or if the bits are going to get stuck in them. They really do come out quite easily and will give you a really nice effect quite simply. Now, on top of our offer for our dies this week, we also have our Essentials pack. Now, we started these a few weeks ago. If you haven't been watching my videos recently, you might not have seen these. These basically give you a little hint of everything that's coming up on my cards. So if you do wish to recreate my cards or that style of card, then you've got a little bit of everything you're going to need in this one pack. Now again, because of this is a Sunday Showcase offer, we actually give you a third off of it. So this pack, for instance, is worth £18.24, and your offer price, again only valid for this week, it means you can purchase it for just £12. Now let's take a little walk through and show you what you're going to be getting in here for that. We'll start off with your A4 card. So you're going to get 2 sheets of pearl card in this really sort of tealy, greeny, bluey colour. I'm not too sure what we call that, but it's beautiful and I absolutely love it, and I think you're going to fall in love with it and want loads and loads and loads of it. And if you do, you can do that as well. We do sell it separately, but it is a beautiful colour card. You've then got 2 of our purple centura pearl card. And we then have, and I don't know how well you're going to see this on camera, but you're going to get 2 sheets of a bluey mottled centura pearl. This is one that often gets overlooked, but I really love this. It's got such a subtle hint of shade to it, but it really will work very nicely with the 12x12s you're going to be getting in your Essentials pack. A lot of you have commented on this, the ones of you who have managed to get hold of our Essentials packs, because they do sell out incredibly quickly. One of the biggest feedbacks we're getting is how you like how it all coordinates, and we've chose it so it all matches and works together, and you don't have to over worry about if things are going to work together or not, because we've done that for you. So this is another one of them instances in hand where this pearl card will really match in well with your 12x12s and your ribbons and bits. On top of them, we also have some really nice gems. Now I've used these ones on my card across some of my stopper bars for my easel cards, and they're really lovely for that. They're already sticky back, and you get this really nice pearl and gem sort of rotation going along them. Really, really pretty. These are normally at £1.29 a sheet, to give you an idea. But again, you can of course buy them separately. And we then have these quite large ones as well, with the sort of diamond in the middle and the pearls breaking them up. We've used these quite a lot for Art Deco cards, so that isn't something we're really focusing on today, but certainly if you're into Art Deco, they may come in quite nicely for that style too. We like to also give you quite a bit of cardstock in these essential packs. So this week we're giving you 10 sheets of oyster pearl card. Now oyster is a beautiful colour. It's sort of somewhere in between a sort of antique-y white and a cream, but not quite at either, which is what I actually really like about it. It's a really nice card to stamp on. You can colour on it really well. It inks really well if you're into distressing and you want to have a pearly sheen to a distressed look. It's quite a nice weight as well. It's 300 GSM if I remember rightly. So it's good for boxes, it's good for card bases. You really can't go wrong with it. And you're going to be getting 10 sheets of that in your packet. We're also giving you quite a lot of ribbon. You're going to see ribbon features quite heavily on my sort of pastel style cards today. So we'll give you a wide pink ribbon. You're going to get a metre of that one. You're also getting a metre of this. Is actually one of my favourites. I love this sort of olivey green colour, and I do try to sneak it in where I can. So you're going to get a metre of that one. Then we have these really nice sheer ribbons which have got a nice satin edge to them. So you're getting 2 thicknesses of those, and you're getting a metre of each of that. We also have these really nice dotty ribbons, so you're going to get a metre of our dotty teal ribbon. It's quite nice because it's dotted on the front and left plain on the back, so depending on what you're doing with it, you can certainly choose whether you wish to use the dots or not, and it gives a different dimension if you tie bows with it as well, because you'll get to see the underside as well. We then have a nice lilac ribbon. Again, that's going to go really well with some of your papers I'm about to show you. And then you have sort of a distressed style, cottonish pink ribbon as well, which I really like. Goes in really nicely with your distress inks and bits like that too, if you wish to. It really is quite a nice vintagey style, shabby chicy ribbon, and you're getting a metre of that one as well. So quite a lot of ribbon this week, which is nice. We know you appreciate a different ribbon selection. On to your 12x12s. So the first one is just a single-sided 12x12 of just a nice blue pinstripe. Now again, we've chose that one because it will match in quite well with the shades you're going to see in your patterned 12x12s. So the first one we have is our really lovely love design with our roses on. So this is side one. On the reverse of that, you've got a really nice pink lace. I haven't used that, but it is a really lovely design. If you don't want to use the love side and the blue side, you could certainly make use of that one. Our next 12x12 is our really lovely butterflies. And now these, you're going to see these feature on quite a few of my cards, and it's hard to actually show you in proportion, but I've hardly cut into my sheet. I've really only used a very small amount of it. So value for money wise, this is a really good way to get nice butterflies. It's going to look like you've put a lot of effort into them, and all you've done really is cut round them. And colour wise, they match in so well with the rest of your pack today. It really is a nice sheet. This is also brand new. We've not even had it out on the shelf. These have been specially ordered in for your essential packs, so you'll get an exclusive product as well. We will be selling them individually as now, so if you don't want the whole pack, you can just buy the sheets. They're £1.9 each and available on the website or in store. On the back of this one, we've also got quite a nice mint green style crackle glaze, which again goes in really nicely. I haven't focused on that because I wanted to cut it up for my butterflies, but you certainly could if you wanted to. And then your last two papers, again, they're double-sided. As you can see, they're part of a set. So on this one, we've got this really nice script work with your flowers coming across it. On the reverse of that, we've got these really nice sort of purple and lilac doilies. And then on the other one of the papers, we've got really heavy patterns going on, which of course match quite well with the front of that design. And on the back of this one, we have more of just a hydrangea style petal design, which again is really lovely to work with and matches in perfectly. So hopefully you're picking up quite a pastel colour scheme going on today with your essentials pack. As always, I will urge you, if you like the look of this, don't hesitate, get them while we've got them. Every week we sell out, usually by the end of Sunday, if not definitely by Monday or Tuesday. I have a feeling this one will do the same again, especially with the season as it is. We're all ready for a bit of pastel and a bit of summer and a bit more colour, aren't we? So I think this one will be popular, so don't miss out. So now you've seen all of the different dies I've got to show you and your essentials pack, we better show you what you could do with them, hadn't we? So card number 1. This one's quite easy to do. This is a style I did a couple of weeks ago and I wanted to bring it back and show you a different version of it. So what I've done is I've built a little box. The box is really easy to make. If you know how to make boxes, super simple. It's just a 3 centimetre wide by 14.5 centimetre length, and I've scored it at 1 centimetre on all 3 sides and then done my plant potting to turn it into a box, and it literally is just like a box lid or base, if that makes sense. And I've just built it, and then on the inside of it I've actually attached one of my edgeable cuts. So this is actually the edgeable cut out, to give you an idea. Now, as I said, with your flowers, they do actually cut so you can bend them forward, and they give you like a pinwheel effect, which I think is really beautiful. I really like that, and it's really easy to do, and they actually stay there quite well as well. So if you're worried about posting it, it should keep its body and still look really lovely. I've of course done the same on the other end as well. In the background we've got a part of that pinstripe paper you've got from your essentials pack, and at the very back we've got the mottled blue from your essentials pack. Lots of oyster being used here for your layers, and of course your die cut and your boxes. And then of course these are the really lovely little butterflies that you can cut out from that 12 by 12 if you wish to. Of course you don't have to, by the way. You could of course use that just as a backing paper. It's really lovely. And if you wanted to, you could certainly add a bit of glitter to them, or maybe something like glossy accents to give them a bit more dimension as well. But I really like them just left flat. Around the edges of my little boxes as well, I've added some of that really nice cotton style ribbon that we're giving you in your essentials pack as well. That's also available in blue, by the way. So if you do like that, we do have that in other shades too. But I really like that ribbon. So that's card number 1. That's just on an A5 card, so again it's not too big, and of course with making your little boxes bits we can make them as big or as small as we want to. I wanted A5 simply to give me enough room for both of my edgeables to actually have a bit of room. And I haven't spoke about it, so we better go back to it. A bit in the middle. How could I forget the most beautiful part of the card? This of course is your lattice oval. Now this time I've cut out round the outside using this die. Which is just your ordinary outside die. I've used the lattice part in the middle simply by just sending it through the machine again with that in the middle of it to cut out my lattice part. And I haven't used this one because I didn't want to fill in back to it. I wanted you to be able to see the pinstripe lines. So that's why it's left open at the back. So that's card number 1. Moving on to card number 2. I've got 12 of these to get through today, so I'll try and be quick, because if not you're going to be here forever. Card number 2, this is using that really lovely love paper. This is the one that's got that really nice pink lace on the back of it, so if you don't want to use the love bit you don't have to. But I quite liked how the butterflies matched in with this as well, so I've added some butterflies on. There's another panel to it around here as well with the other corner, so this is sort of the top right corner if I remember rightly, bottom left corner from there, and I still had odd bits left from my paper, so I've actually used the back of our oval lattice frame and actually used the filled in background to go underneath it. Again we've got just the cut with the lattice part put in the middle to give me that really nice window effect. Again the butterflies are off of that really lovely sheet of 12 by 12s, and this is one of the first times you're getting to see the corner. So the corner's just been cut out of a pink pearl card this time, and I've used it on top of our creator card frame, that really lovely one that I didn't really go on about this, but how general is this? You could really use this for just about any occasion. I know with Christmas coming up, I'm seeing Christmas cards out of this as well, and as I said earlier, it'd make really nice insert panels too. So lots we could do with it, but it is quite nice if you do want to add more to it. That corner does fit really well into that as well, so why not add a bit more dimension on it? I believe shortly you're going to see that I've done the corner and actually used it in the same colour as the backing itself. So it sort of looks like we've had it embossed, but it's all just done with die cuts. So again, quite a nice way you can do that. If you're wondering how I've made my card, it's just an ordinary square card, and I've just cut one side of it. I've folded it in half, so one panel's in half, and then I've cut it off into a point to be able to put this panel on. Now my card, this is actually worth telling you, the card was slightly too small for fitting this on as an actual diamond, so I've built up the back with another sheet of blue card to actually make the card back slightly bigger, so I could then fit my diamond on the front and it actually stand without being sort of tipped back at all or damaging the points to the card. So there's no reason why you can't extend your card blanks out a little if you wish to. Moving on to card number 3. Now this time we've got lots of dies going on here. So we've got your oval lattice window again. Again, we've got the backing going on here, and we've cut the lattice out the middle of it. This time we're looking at the creator card die where you've got the die cuts going down both sides. Now again, they've got these really lovely parts that we can fold out of our petals of our flowers. So don't go missing them because they really are quite a treat. Down the bottom here, I've also, and this is quite nice, if you do end up with both of them and you do want to use the more heavy creator card die for the top of an easel card, it's quite nice to have the plainer, just the one-sided creator card die to use as your base. So that's just using that on the bottom there. I've built up a little bar using matching card, and then of course we're using them gems and pearl strips that you're going to be getting in your essentials pack as well. So that's quite a nice way to dress up your stopper bars so they're not too plain. But I did like that. I've hid little gems underneath each of my flowers. They are literally stuck on the card underneath them, which I quite like because it means you still keep the sort of delicate cut work of the die, but you've got that little bit of bling coming through as well. Obviously on my lattice part in the middle here, I've also added little gems to the middles of each of them, which is worth noticing. You can't always see them so well, but they really do make the difference to just bling it up a little bit and give it a bit more sparkle. Moving on to card number 4. Now this one was all done just because I like the ribbon, if I'm being honest with you. I really love teal. It is one of my favourite colours, and I really love that ribbon. I have fell in love with that. It's one we've stocked for quite a while, and I hadn't really got around to using it. So today was my day. That was it. It was going to happen, and that's how it comes I've made this card. So again, we've got the same creator card die as the previous card I showed you, which again is worth talking about. If you look back to this card, I've used it as a sort of a vertical design, and on the new card I'm showing you, I've used it as a horizontal design. So again, giving you a lot more freedom on how you can use it. Certainly different angles are a great way to get more looks out of one die. Again, I've brought through all of my petals on my die cuts just to give you a bit more dimension. I've added a bit more of the ribbon across the middle, and then obviously cut some panels to just layer up and stamp on in there. On the base of this one, if you didn't like the idea of using the one-sided creator card die, on this one I've actually used the double. So again, the same as the top here, and of course it's got the same bit down there. One of the bonuses with a single, if you do end up with a single as well, obviously here is a nice place you could write your message if you wish to. Of course you can still write your messages up here, there is still space, but sometimes it's quite nice to add your message or more of a verse onto that area if you wanted to. So again, I still feel you need both. That's more what I'm telling you really, is you just need all of them. How on earth you're going to pick between these, I don't know. And I wouldn't want to be in that position because they're just too lovely. And this really is a set that, and I speak from experience, that when you've got all of it, it just fits. It works together so well that if you don't end up with all of it, you're really going to be kicking yourself, because if you're going to look back at this video another day, think I really should have got that while they had it, and saved £35.92. So if you can, get the lot while we've got it. On to our next card. So this time, this is a bit of a different one. I quite like doing these. I've made several little boxes, as hopefully you can see here, and the card can actually shut flat. So if you wish to, you could, I haven't, I'm showing you the behind the scenes illusion here. I haven't actually decorated the outside of my card, just for time, but I wanted to show you how pretty the inside could be. And I did have papers left and card left, so I could have done it if I wanted to, but let's be honest, we want to look at the fun bit on the inside, not the bit I've done on the outside. But it is good to know that you can fold it flat if you want to. So it's just a couple of boxes, 3 boxes in total I suppose, with the aperture one on the front so that you've got somewhere to decorate in the middle, and then boxes spread there just so it can collapse down so you can send it if you want to. These are usually quite good if you tie a ribbon around them as well to keep them a bit flatter, and of course you could do them on lots of different sizes. But by creating that 3D effect, it gave me the opportunity to use some of my dies to give you more of a staggered effect. So on the very front, inside the actual aperture, obviously we have the corner, which is really nice because I quite like the fact it's not symmetrical. So we've got longer bits coming up this side and shorter bits over there, and then obviously it extends down a bit more from this one because we're sort of twisting the angle of it to give you that sort of different effect. But it's quite nice that it's not symmetrical and not the same. It's a bit more random. On our first little box that we've added, we of course have that really nice lattice die, but this time I haven't used the lattice because of course you don't have to. So if you do want to leave that oval filled in and you want to stamp your messages or your pictures, or it might be really nice if you wanted to colour in an image with some pens or some pencils and have a really nice edge to it, you certainly could on here. I've actually just chose to use a different die and layered a sentiment on there, but you don't have to. Behind it I've used more of our purple from our Essentials pack and used the outside die obviously to cut out my matching background. And then behind that we've got the creator card die that's just got the flowers across one edge. So as you can see, there's nothing down here, it's all just out of that really nice oyster card. And then you've just got that really nice sort of arced over the top floral cuts instead. Paper wise, of course, these are papers from your Essentials set. So again, we've got our oyster card to make the card. We've got our lilac or purple card for your backing panels. And then paper wise, we've got them two that match. So this is actually the one with all of the script and flowers on it, which is going across the back panel and the front panel. And then actually across my first box. And then I've lined the box using the back of the other one. So with that hydrangea just petal part or a flower going all over it. So it still keeps in with the same theme, still looks the same, but is actually a bit of a different paper. Moving on to our next project. Now this one started off as an all white work style card, but then I decided I do a lot of them and you get to see an awful lot of them. So why not turn it into a box instead? Now I could have, in fairness, made a matching card to go in here if I had have had a little bit more time, but I just had so many ideas for this set. Kept going off on all of these different tangents because I wanted to show you how you could use it to create so many different styles that of course by seeing this you know you could make a very similar card if you wanted to go in the box. Or if you've made a card already, how about making a really nice gift box to go with your present and match it all in to go together. So for this one, we've just got our oyster card again. Everything on here is out of oyster card, which I think looks really classic and really posh, to be honest, and works really well. Loads of dies on this one. So to begin with, we've got that really nice essential style creator card die that could be dressed up to any occasion. We've then got the corner die, which, as I said earlier, I've cut it out of the same colour card, layered it on top. So I actually feel it looks like it's been embossed on that card, which is quite nice because it gives you a different effect without actually having to do anything too challenging. We then have the oval die, that really nice lattice one again, but I've left the lattice die out of the centre of it. Again, showing you really don't have to use them all together if you don't want to. And then on top of it, I've used a very familiar butterfly that you might recognise from our showcase a couple of weeks ago. This is the butterfly in question. If you haven't seen it, it's one of our value range of dies that, as I say, we did launch a whole collection 2 weeks ago on one of our Sunday showcases. This one is only £4.29. It isn't included in your bundle today, obviously, because I know so many of you got it when we launched it a couple of weeks ago. But if you haven't seen it, if you are new to our videos and you haven't yet got that one, we do have them in stock. And of course, you can use code BUTTERFLY to order it on YouTube, Facebook, over the phone or via text. Or of course you can pop on the website and order it there from the die section. So that's how we've made our little box anyway, and as I say, there's so many things we could do that, so many ways we could dress it up, so many things we could put inside the box. But hopefully you'll agree that that all oyster colour scheme works quite well. Moving on to our next card. So this one is actually the first card I've made with this collection, so I've got a little bit of everything going on because I wanted to play about and see what I could create using the whole set. So we have our oval lattice flower die. I've used the lattice part in the middle of it, dressed it up with some bling again. I've then used that really lovely colour. I'm not really too sure what to call this, but it does come in your Essentials pack. So it's sort of a light tealy bluey green colour. And then that's of course been used behind it. We then have the really essential die that could be dressed up for any occasion. And then we've got more of the card behind it, just so you see this really lovely perforation around the side and really nice filigree effect on the corners. Again, I've used this as a diamond, so as I showed you earlier, just using an ordinary square card and cutting off 2 points, 2 corners of my card gives you the ability to turn it into this diamond effect. And then in the middle here, we've created a stopper. going over the top of a couple of bits, but we'll chat about them in a moment. And on top of our stopper, we have the ribbon that again comes in your essentials pack. And then if you remember, I said about them Art Deco stick-on borders, and I said I hadn't really used them today. All I've used from them is one of the diamonds. I thought that matched in quite nice with the diamond point of the card, so I've just cut off one of the diamonds and stuck it in the middle of my bow. At the bottom here, obviously, we have got the creator card die with the flowers just across one edge. And again, it shows you how really lovely that is just to use on the base of an easel. Or, of course, if you didn't want to, and then we got rid of all of this, it would actually make quite a nice insert. Again, if you are somebody who wants to dress up the inserts to your cards, this could be a really nice basic insert. Just stamp a verse on there, and you've got a nice effect going on. Again, without doing too much work. Because, let's be honest, we all want to have a really nice effect without necessarily spending all of the time in the world to get it. And these dies will certainly give you that classy effect without too much hard work. Moving on to our next card. Now, I warned you earlier, I do like to sneak in a bit of green. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like green, but I quite like an olive green. So this time we have got just squares of card to make up our backing layers. And then on it, I've used our corner die. And again, you're not really getting to see too much of this, but sometimes you don't want it to be the focal point. You just want it to match in the background. So I've used my corner die. I've stuck 4 of them on. And then we've used that really lovely creator card die with just the flowers down one side. But as I said earlier, there's no reason we can't use that lattice die on other dies too. So I've cut out this part of it, the actual creator card die. I've then sent it through again just with that lattice die on it, just to cut this really nice effect in the middle there. And of course that could have been located anywhere. You could possibly even squidge on a couple of them if you wanted to. And of course, if you've got dies already at home which give you this sort of wide open areas that we could use it on, no reason you couldn't use them on them too. I know we've had a lot of creator card dies in the past that this would work really well with, and again, it's one of them that you could dress it up to any occasion. I'm thinking Christmas. I'm pre-warning you here. I think Christmas is en route because all I keep thinking about is Christmas, and I think that would be really nice for some of the Christmas creator card dies we've had previously. Again, down the side here, we've got that really nice thick green ribbon that comes from your Essentials pack. I've then got one of the widths of the white sheer over the top of that, and then I've used the thinner one of that to actually tie my bow in and just pull it all together a little. So a really easy card to do, not too much on it, but again, really quite stunning. Hopefully you'll agree. Of course, we have our butterfly, not to forget him. That's our 429 butterfly. So if you do want to add him onto your order, he's a nice little matching component to this whole set, really. I thought he went quite well. Of course, it's all oyster card again for all of my layers. I really do like that oyster card. I think it's got such a lovely colour shade to it. It just gives a classy effect without you having to do too much. Moving on to our next one. So we're back to that really nice sort of light tealy, greeny, bluey card. And this time I've gone for a few different bits. We've got the flowers on their own for the front of my waterfall. We then move back and we've got the edgeable tucked in behind just a layer of card for my next panel. Of course, we've got some of the ribbon from your Essentials pack going across the top of that. And then behind us here, we have the creator card die with the flowers down both sides. And again, I've popped in that lattice part just to give you a different effect. I've now managed to show you how you can use that one on all 3 of your creator card style dies. So if you do end up with the whole set, it really will be quite nice to be able to use that with all of them. And again, there's quite a bit of height option with this, so we could have gone for the middle or the bottom with it, or could have possibly even turned it sideways if you wanted to. There is so many options you could be doing with them, but of course you don't have to. Millions of ways you could dress up the creator card dies, especially with your different ribbons from your Essentials packs. You can do some great things if you don't want to do that with it. And then of course I've just added a little butterfly on a piece of acetate just because I didn't want to clutter up too much of the card, but I wanted to add a bit more dimension to it. So I've done that on a couple of my cards today, just added these little acetate hangers for your butterflies. But of course they don't have to be butterflies, we could add quite a few different sentiments and bits on them if you wanted to. So just a different idea for you if you haven't seen that done before. Moving up to our next card, this time we've gone for a book effect. So this, I really wanted to show you how beautiful this is as pages in a book. every now and again I get the chance to do one of these style Book of Tricks stylish cards, and these pages are perfect, or this die I should say. This of course is your creator card die with the flowers just down one side. I've actually cut 2 of these per side, so they've both been cut out of oyster pearl. But the top one I've gone over with distress inks, which are Fired Brick and Wild Honey. And then I've left the one behind it plain, and then on the page behind that I've actually added in all of my little gems. So again, some of them are on top, on the size holes that they would fit on. Some of them are behind, which I actually quite like because it gives you a bit more depth to the effect. I've also used the cutout, so on this side I've used the outside of our really lovely oval flower frame die, and I've actually used the outside of it to cut my window, and I've stamped one of our new teddy bear stamps. If you haven't seen this one before, I think it's lovely. It is on the website, it's in both stores, it's only $5.99, and I've just coloured it in using a paintbrush and some distress inks, but I wanted to use that as an aperture just so I could have the cream cardstock underneath it and then distress over the top to match in. The bit I've cut out is the part I've used over this side, so nothing's wasted, and that's the part obviously I've stamped my sentiment on. Down the side here we have one of your sets of flowers that you can buy individual. They're your $6.99 flowers. That's one of the styles that you've got available today if you do want to buy them individually. Or of course down the bottom here we have the other style just to show, oh come back you, just to show you a different one as well. That again is available for $6.99 if you'd like that one. Moving on to our next card, or our penultimate card I should say. We're getting to the end. I hope I've still got you all with me. This is another way that you can use your lattice oval die. Again, I've used that really lovely essential background die. I've used my corner die to dress it up slightly round just one side of it. And then I've added on them flower dies. I said to you earlier how they fitted perfectly over the flower actually in the corner. They do, so if you want to add on a bit more dimension, you can do. And then of course we have just that butterfly added on again. A bit more of the ribbon down the side here. I just love ribbon down the edge of a card. I just think it gives it a bit of a classy effect. So I do that quite often, but I do just think it matches in quite well. And then on the inside, we've used that die to make our insert. So as I said to you earlier, and I think that's really, this is such a simple card, but I think that matches really well, gives you a bit more an expensive look without actually really doing too much hard work. And of course, if you were somebody who was doing their wedding invitations at the moment, or party invitations maybe, that might be a really nice way to give you a very classy effect without actually spending the earth. Of course, this card would be quite nice as a 10 as well. So there's many different variations on how you could dress it up, but them dies do work quite well for this. Then moving on to our last card, the very last one I'm going to get to show you today. This one is just an acetate overlay card. So in the background here we have our oval card, our oval die used again, without the lattice in the middle, sentiment stamped on a different layer and popped on top of it. I've got more of my oyster and the purple card you're getting in your essentials packs to make up my layers. I've then added in the acetate part over the top. I've glued on my corners over the top of that, and then once again I've used a separate flower die to layer on top of them, because I just think that looks really nice, especially if you're going to be using them with the sort of the oval die or the edgeable die, because they're so 3D and they've got all these parts that are lifting out of them. It's quite nice if your corners are a bit more 3D as well. So then again, as I say, I've just used the edgeable on the side here. I've cut it off so it's just a short panel, and then I've foam padded this together and wrapped some of the ribbon that you're going to be getting in your essentials pack around the edge of it just to match in all of the different colours and bits. Again, a really simple card to do, so it's not a difficult one to recreate if you like the look of that one. And of course you're getting quite a few bits you need to do these in your essentials pack. So, quick run through of your different options to buy them. Now you've seen all of the different options and things you can do with them. We'll chat to you again about your offers. So you can of course buy the mega bundle. This is worth £95.92p and it's all yours for just £60. And of course in that you're getting all of the dies from this new collection. If you don't wish to buy them as a big bundle, we understand that not everyone wants to do that. So we're not mean, we'll let you buy them individually as well. So if you'd like the lattice oval, you can buy that one on its own. It's code D133F, it's $14.99. If you like the flowers just down the one side of the creator card die, which of course you see on the pages of the book and many other cards, that's D139F and it's $15.99. If you'd like the creator card that gives you the flowers down both sides, that's D140F and it's $15.99. The truly essential cannot live without background creator card die, which is D1380. Again is $15.99 if you wish to buy it on its own. The flowers that come out like a pinwheel, they're your 3 different sizes in this set. That's D134F and it's $6.99. The flowers with all them really beautiful petals that we can lift up to create really 3D effects and of course matches well with the corner. This is D135F and it's $6.99. Your matching corner is D136F and is $8.99. And then lastly we have your can't be lived without edgeable die, which is D137F and that one's $9.99. Now don't forget, if you do want the mega bundles, these do sell very quickly, all of them sell very quickly. So please don't miss out. Every week we have people contacting us towards the end of the week and are being disappointed that their items are sold out that they want. Please don't be one of them people. If you like the look of these products, get in as soon as you can. We try to make it as easy as we possibly can for you. You can order via text. The phone number is in the description, either on Facebook or on YouTube. You can order by telling us what you'd like on Facebook or YouTube, and we will hold the items for you for up to 7 days. Just tell us the codes of the items you want and we can do that for you. Or of course you can go onto our website where you can order anything you wish. If you spend over £35 and you live in the UK, you'll receive free P&P. If you spend under £35, it's just a flat rate of £2.75. If you live anywhere else in the world, we will send you products too, don't worry about that. Just check out the frequently asked questions page and it will tell you how our international shipping works. We don't want you missing out on these items, get them while we've got them. The last one I really want to stress to you about is your essentials pack. These are the ones that sell out, first of all, week on week. So please don't miss out on that. Your essentials pack, once again, is £18.24 worth of products and it's yours for just £12. That's giving you all of them lovely 12 by 12s, loads of cardstock, ribbons and gems. So it really is an essentials pack worth having. Of course, as I say, order them while we've got them, don't miss out. If you've enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you're watching us on YouTube, then please subscribe to our channel. We have been absolutely delighted to have reached 800 subscribers this week. And if you're one of them, thank you so much. We truly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's completely free. It doesn't mean too much to you. It just means that we will notify you, or YouTube will notify you every time we upload a video, so you never miss out. We upload at some very odd times, and of course when items like this are selling out so quickly, you want to know about it first of all so you don't miss out. This is a really good way for you to be in front of the line. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I look forward to seeing you all next week when I'll be back with another new video and loads of new products for you. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.